Hello, y'all. Hello, my YouTube subscribers. Hello, how you doing? Um, first of all, I want to give you a happy New Year for those of you who are going into the 2023, and I want to shed some light on a lot of things that's going on in my case. Uh, uh, just a lot of stuff. I'm hoping you subscribe to this channel and hit the like button, ding, wherever it's at. I don't have any sponsors, but I do have an endorsement. I do. I am going to endorsement something because, and then I'll show you the link and everything for if you're having the same problem. But I want to tell you that, typing and all of that, as you type, and you get older and stuff, you have problems. I have problems in my hands, and a lot of times they hurt. It hurts, especially when I'm typing and I'm typing long hours. And this Supreme Court issue brought it on more worse than what it normally would be. And I used some CBD oil, 1,000 milligram CBD oil. I rubbed it on my hands. I washed my hands. I rubbed it on my hands. I did the exercise because my fingers began to pop, and so it helped it out a lot. So I was able to accomplish my mission with the Supreme Court doing this. And I'm sitting in Miss Sophia. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what happened. What led me to the Supreme Court. I had to, if y'all don't know, listen to the link. Well, as far as Equifax is concerned, I wasn't really expecting that one to go to the Supreme Court. But the judge said that after I told him that the Equifax gave their lawyers my credit reporting account, which was illegal, and I showed him proof, he said that was outlandish, and he never heard of nothing like that before. Okay. Even though he was supposed to, look at the evidence, he said, well, no, this is outlandish. So what I did was, and then I already had, I had two cases, one in Georgia, one in New York, Southern New York, Northern Georgia. So he said, so the district court in New York, this lets me know it was a conspiracy. The district court in New York said, well, you didn't prove anything. I submitted emails showing that they had taken over my account. They had changed my password. Now, these are all the emails that they're sending. She said, well, no, you didn't do all of that. That never happened. They was trying to help you. In reality, they was committing an illegal act, and it's under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. If you don't know what that is, check it out. And if you don't know what the statute is of that, check out 18 USC 1030. And I'm gonna go into the, it explains when people get your credit report by illegal means. Check that out. So anyway, I'm sitting here. I said, well, I know the Southern one going on. She had to go beyond her job. She went and told she did an order saying that I can't even file it in district court in Georgia. I can't even address it in Georgia. That it has to be stopped. You can't address this. She didn't say res judicata. She just said she prohibited me from doing it in Georgia, because that's why I normally said it. I told them, I said, look here, they got my credit report. They putting outdated information. They doing all of this. Help me. The district court didn't do anything, and this other lady, this judge in New York is saying, look here, you can't even put it in there. I said, okay, this is the most outlandish, bullish, I have ever heard in my life. I have ever seen in my life. That a district court ordering another district court judge, ordering another district court judge to not even hear it. They on the same level now. I ain't never heard it. So, within weeks, both of them got dismissed out of the Court of Appeals. Court of Appeals sent me an appeal on. They didn't even reply. And Court of Appeals sent me something on 2 pieces of paper saying, we ain't even finna hear it. We ain't even finna entertain. You have an appeal as a matter of right. That's a matter of right. It's not optional. Supreme Court is optional. Court of Appeals has to do their job. Both of them did the same thing. Said, we're gonna affirm it. It's outlandish. It's this, it's that, it's this. So I said, okay. I called my cousin. Yeah, I did. Please don't think I'm a strong woman, because I'm not. Called my cousin, and I broke down and cried. I said, you know what? This is the most blunt, blatant miscarriage of justice I've ever seen in my life. See, I feel like I'm a slave, the servitude. She said, Samantha, we've been fighting all our life. What does today got to do with any other day? Dried the tears up, said, okay. So now I got 2 briefs that I got to send to the Supreme Court within weeks of each other. And when I tell you, going to the Supreme Court is not, you got to be on point. Even if you pro se, you got to be on point, because they not playing them the big dogs. So I said, Lord, I started on both of them. Same 1 week I worked on one, the other week I worked on none. Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm not religious, but I do believe in God, but I'm not all that whoa. So I started talking to God. I said, you know what? Finish the hard one first. The hard one was the attorneys. I finished that first. And I gave it, I had to find a proofreader, because I couldn't do both of them at the same time. There was no way I could proofread both of them and then have them sent out. So I had somebody that was real good at proofreading. And I'm going to tell you how good a proofreader, somebody who's interested in you, care about you. She didn't proofread it one time. She proofread it 5 times. 5 times. And then she gave me back the copy. Each time she did it 5 times, and she gave me back the copy. She told me what it was, and then I sent it. She, see some more stuff, send it back. I change it, print it again. She come back. She was more on me than anything else. And it was something she told me. She said, you know what? She said, you're getting ready to make United States history. And we want it where when they hear it, they don't hear part of the story. They hear the whole story, everything that went on. So I did. I gave it to her. And I also gave my second one to somebody else. Now, I had a deadline at first for November. It was November the 22nd for Equifax. And I knew that I wasn't going to make that one. So right before the extension time came, you're supposed to give 10 days, but my body got drained and I couldn't do it. So I submitted something in court. I mean, I was dealing with other stuff, but I submitted something in court, and she told me, okay. Then the other one, I just did it, and she said, no, you ain't got to. You got until the 30th to do that. You got some time for the second one. But you know what? Don't take that time. Don't take because you got time. Oh, I got until, let's say, I'm just saying, what if I had until the 15th of January? You don't take the 15th of January and say, oh, I got the 15th of January. No, you still stay on that grind because you still want to submit it. You want to get, the 15th is more like a cushion. Anytime you're doing something that is, that's any appeal, any case, you look at it that it's a cushion. That the 15th is that cushion in case something that goes wrong. You got into the 15th, but if you can do it earlier, that's fine. You set your own timeline. So I did. So sitting here, I'm going through stuff. I'm dealing with stuff, and I'm trying to figure everything out, and I'm going through so much. And you know what? Somebody told me, your blessing gonna happen in January, but November, October, December is gonna be hard. And it was, you know. So as I was doing it, I started having leg pains and sitting too long, and my hands started hurting, and I couldn't really, it got to the point I couldn't really finish it, and, I had to stop, and, and I was on my mind on the road, but my body saying, no, you got to cut it short. So I was like, I really had to. So I got somebody to proofread that one. Somebody that was proofreading the other one, they didn't come through for me, because had I had trusted in them, I wouldn't have never made it. And had I not put the deadline in, I never made it. I wouldn't have never made it. So I did both of them. I'm working on both of them. I'm trying. I'm doing all of this. I'm proofreading. Now comes the printing. I was getting ready to have 40 copies. There's 80 copies for each one. $300 for both copies, for both cases. Oh, people donating, and I thank them for so much. They was donating. I had paper shipped to me that was donating, that, I had people praying for me. I had people just sending me little, and it just $5 and $10. And I promise you, every dime of that went toward what I was aiming to do. And I ended up, I was still about 3 boxes short. Couldn't find it in time. Going through Office Max, the manager at Office Max on Brainerd, he came up, found me 3 stacks, 3 of 500. That's that bond paper, and that's that light paper that got the night signature bond on it. Oh, that stuff is expensive, and it's hard to come by now. And I ended up, I bought that. Somebody sent me $100. That came right on time, and I was able to buy that and be through with it. So now, shipping. How do you ship 80 boxes? I mean 80 briefs. Oh my God. Girl at Michelle, she showed me how to do it. Well, I was a few dollars short on a filing fee. Oh. That's when I got depressed. I said, all this work I've done. I said, I hadn't even printed out my second brief. I had got so spiritually drained. I didn't know what to do. So I'm sitting in the tub. I'm saying, well, all this work is in vain. I don't know what to do. And I heard a voice say, well, you call the Supreme Court. You already doing your motion to get in, because you're trying to avoid paying the filing fee. Call the Supreme Court. Ask them what to do. So I did. Got a voicemail. I said, I ain't gonna make it in time. I said, it's the holidays, and I'm not gonna make it in time. I said, but you know what? I'ma still finish it regardless. So I got a call the next day, Emily from the Supreme Court, and she said, look here, if you trying to do it like that, don't send 40 copies. Send 9 copies. If they accept it, then that's it. If they don't, then you send the 40 copies. Okay. So everybody sending me boxes. Like I said, it was a lot now. Please don't think it was just, they were sending me boxes, paid boxes. Samantha, come on now. When you do this, let me know, and I'll help you ship it. And, I'll send you the money to ship it and stuff. And I said, okay. So wasn't a big box, it was a little box. And I did. I sent it. That was Wednesday. And so Wednesday and Thursday and Friday morning, I didn't sleep. Thursday night, I didn't sleep. Thursday night, I didn't sleep. That Friday morning, I didn't sleep. I drank coffee, cocoa. I couldn't sleep, and I got excited as it was I was tired, but I was getting excited, and I kept going over and over with my evidence as I was putting it in. Make sure that all of them was the same, all of them had the same thing, all of them was in there, everything was in there. Everything was labeled, everything was this, because I'm going before the highest court of the United States. And I was so wore out. My eyes was red. They were burning. I was tired. And then I took it to the mailbox around about 12 o'clock. And my friend Michelle, she logged it in, and I took pictures of it, and now it's off. So you say, well, what happens now? Well, they're going to get it. They're going to get it on the 3rd or on the 4th. It's still good. They're going to get it. And then once they get it, they're going to log it in. And then I'm going to have a case. Tuesday, I'm sending off the other party stuff. And then I have to wait. And I have to wait. Am I going to get in? And they're going to hear it, or they're going to say no and dismiss it. But I put about at least 4 landmark cases, and some went back to 1803. That was Madison versus Marbury. No, Marbury versus Madison. That talks about civil rights, your rights, the right for fair judiciary review. I spoke about Plessy versus Ferguson. Those are civil rights cases. NAACP versus Buttons. Let's talk about that. That case in itself talks about during the civil rights era, which is the Constitution. I talked about the 13th Amendment that says that not the 13th Amendment, the 5th Amendment. So if I'm just blah, 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 just, I'm still coming over. And I talked about how when they took away my rights and all of that, I became a servitude citizen. Basically a slave. I just put it out there. When the United States give everybody rights and take away yours, you become presented that image that I right now I am a servitude slave. I am a servitude citizen. I'm a slave because slaves was able to live in the country, work in the country, but they had no rights. They had no rights. So that's the way I feel. That's the way I typed it. And then I used a recent Supreme case of Van Buren versus United States, where that right there is a good case. And I'm gonna tell you how what that case is all about. Van Buren was a Georgia police officer, and he used his credentials. Somebody asked him to do a favor. He did a favor. He used his credentials to go and computer access on his police thing, his police department. And he went ahead and got that. And then he turned around and gave it to somebody. Now, the United States, they prosecuted him. And they tried to convict him. But what is the difference between somebody misusing it? They're just like, for instance, I'm going to say, I know somebody that work at the IRS, and I'm married, and I tell them, this man won't even give me my tax stuff. And she said, well, girl, you know what? I got it. What's his name? So-and-so. What's his social? So-and-so. And she give it to me, and then I turn around and present it in court, knowing that I didn't have access to it. That's where Van Buren, that's where Computer Fraud and Abuse Act come into. That's where the case of Van Buren. So now the Supreme Court is going to ask that question. Where does it relate to regarding attorney-client privileges? If you sue the credit reporting act, the credit reporters agencies, do they have a right to give your credit report to their attorney to use against you? It's something to think about, ain't it? Even though Congress says that it's a guideline, it's a strict guideline, and attorney-clients don't apply to that, that's it. Because that's what Equifax did. That's what Equifax did. So, I'm not going to hold this long. Normally, I go to the 30 minutes and stuff. But I'm not going to hold this long because, like I said, it drained me. It physically, mentally. But it was something also always that was draining me. And that's that lawsuit that I got against True Blue People Scout, for discrimination. And that was, they doing some stuff. I mean, oh my God, you just be like, I can't believe an employer would do that. And I'm gonna throw this out here. I want y'all to give me comments. How many employers will abruptly end your employment, turn around and offer you money to go? Say, well, we sorry we did all of this, go. When you reject it, they turn around and say, you know what? You need to be on leave. You qualify for leave. But I only been with the company 4 months. Well, don't worry about that. No, and then say, you still hired. I hadn't worked for them in 8 months. I'm going to get into another video with that, about all of that. I hadn't worked for them for 8 months. I gave their computer away because they didn't want it. And then say, well, telling EEOC, well, she don't want to come to work. I'm stressed out because I'm calling jobs now. And jobs telling me, jobs I know I'm qualified for. I know I can get. I know, jobs like temp agencies that normally, and I'm not going to lie, I work through temp agency because I can control how I work, when I want to work, and how long I want to work. And then turn around and tell the temp agency something, and they don't want to hire you. Then I found out I'm hired, but I'm on some kind of special leave. And it came out. So the question is, have you ever known an employer to hold your job without you applying for leave? Now, don't say that it's leave. Without you applying for leave, hold your job when you ain't said nothing. Just hold your job for you. Tell you still got a job. Because normally, any job you don't show up 2 or 3 days, they fire you for a no call, no show. Especially if you got the equipment. I want you to comment on that, okay? And by the way, you guys, have a happy new year. Make 2023 where you can say, you know what? It's on.